Sawm fasting in Islam. Fasting in Islam, known as Sawm or Siyam the Arabic words for fasting, also commonly known as Ruzeh or Rozah in some Muslim countries, is the practice of abstaining, usually from food and drink. The observance of Sawm during the Islamic holy month of Ramadan is the fourth of the 5 pillars of Islam, but is not solely confined to that month. Etymology. Literally meaning to abstain, Sawm is a Semitic kunya to Syriac sama, Hebrew Sawm, and Greek Sawm. Fasting is not unique to Islam, and has been practiced for centuries in connection with religious ceremonies by Christians, Jews, Baha'is, Confucianists, Hindus, Taoists and Jains. Other languages. The Muslims of Central Asia, Afghanistan, India, Iran, Bangladesh, Pakistan and Turkey use the words Rozah/Rozha/Royas/Orak, which comes from Persian. While the Malay community in Malaysia, Brunei and Singapore call it puasa, which is derived from Sanskrit, upvasa. Puasa is also used in Indonesia, southern Thailand and southern Philippines. Definition. Muslims are prohibited from eating, drinking and engaging in conjugal sexual relationships from dawn fajr to sunset maghrib. It is considered time to begin fasting when a person standing outside can tell a white thread from a black thread. Fasting helps Muslims develop self-control, gain a better understanding of God's gifts and greater compassion towards the deprived. Fasting in Islam involves abstaining from all bodily pleasures between dawn and sunset. All things which are regarded as prohibited is even more so in this month, due to its sacredness. Each and every moment during the fast, a person suppresses their passions and desires in loving obedience to God. This consciousness of duty and the spirit of patience helps in strengthening one's faith. Fasting helps a person gain self-control. A person who abstains from permissible things like food and drink is likely to feel conscious of his sins. A heightened sense of spirituality helps break the habits of lying, staring with lust at the opposite sex, gossiping, and wasting time. Fasting is also viewed as a means of controlling one's desires of food, drink and sex and focusing more on devoting oneself to God. Many Muslims have had food before the sun rises. Sawm also carries a significant spiritual meaning. It teaches one the principle of God consciousness. Because when one observes fasting, it is done out of deep love for God and to learn self-restraint. As mentioned in the Quran, O you who have believed, decreed upon you is fasting as it was decreed upon those before you that you may become righteous. Fasting in the Quran. In the Quran, this practice is mentioned. O you who have believed, decreed upon you is fasting as it was decreed upon those before you that you may become righteous. Quran, Surah Al-Baqarah 2, Ayah 183. Fasting for a limited number of days. So whoever among you is ill or on a journey during them, then an equal number of days are to be made up. And upon those who are able to fast, but with hardship, a ransom is substitute. Of feeding a poor person each day. And whoever volunteers excess, it is better for him. But to fast is best for you, if you only knew. Quran, Surah Al-Baqarah 2, Ayah 184. The month of Ramadan is that in which was revealed the Quran, a guidance for the people and clear proofs of guidance and criterion. So whoever sights the new moon of the month, let him fast it. And whoever is ill or on a journey, then an equal number of other days. Allah intends for you ease and does not intend for you hardship and wants for you to complete the period and to glorify Allah for that to which He has guided you. And perhaps you will be grateful. Quran, Surah Al-Baqarah 2, Ayah 185. Types of fasting in the Quran. 1. Fasting of food Sawm at-Ta'am. 2. Fasting of wealth Sawm al-Mal. 3. Fasting of speech Sawm al-Kalam. Usually, Sawm refers to Sawm at-Ta'am, fasting of food. General conditions. Fasting is obligatory for a person if he or she fulfills 5 conditions. 1. He or she is a Muslim. 2. He or she is accountable Islamic past the age of puberty. 3. He or she is able to fast. 4. He or she is settled not traveling, 5. There are no impediments to fasting such as sickness, extreme pain from injury, breastfeeding, or pregnant. Breaking the fast and the consequences. During Ramadan, if one unintentionally breaks the fast by eating or drinking, then they must continue for the rest of the day and the fast remains valid. For those who intentionally break the fast by eating or drinking, they have to make up for that by fasting another day. For breaking fast by having sexual intercourse, the consequences are: 1. Free a slave, and if that is not possible, 2. Fast for 2 consecutive Hijri moon months, and if that's not possible, 3. Feed or clothe 60 people in need. During voluntary fasts, if one unintentionally breaks the fast, then they may continue for the rest of the day and the fast remains valid. If one intentionally breaks the fast, there is no sin on them because it is only voluntary. Detriments of fasting. Fasting on a long hot day carries a risk of dehydration. However, if one is at medical risk of dehydration, which leads to serious consequences, then it is permitted to break one's fast. An increase of negative health effects are observed exclusively during the month of Ramadan due to fasting, such as migraines, tachycardia, severe headaches, dizziness, nausea, vomiting, circulatory collapse, and sleeping problems. Fasting and health. Fasting is one of the alternatives proved to reduce the DPP-4 level and activate the dipeptidyl peptidase 4 inhibitors and so prevent osteoporosis. On the other hand, the circadian rhythm has a direct relationship with osteoporosis. This has been found by the biochemical markers, indicating that fasting at certain hours of the day, especially during those hours of the day which are recommended as part of the Muslim tradition, Islamic fasting, is very effective in reducing the effects of osteoporosis.